A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is Tuesday class, 8 July 2025. So we'll be continuing our sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. Then as usual, we gather and have our physical puja. Let us compose our mind, develop the saddha, virya, then mindfully we shall proceed with the puja chanting. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสุขะโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนะมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะมามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิDutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Panati Pata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccacara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Ganna sarappa ditena dipena tamadangsina diloka dipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang ganda sambara yutena duppena hang sugang hina pujaye pujaniyang tang Puja bhajana muttamang Vanna Ganda Guno Petang Etang Kusuma Santatin Pujayami Munindasa Siri Pada Sarorohe Pujemi Bedang Kusumena Nena Punnena Matena Cha Hotu Mokang Pupang Milayati Yata Idang Me Kayo Tata Yati Vinasa Bhavang Adivase Tu No Bante Paniyang Parika Pitang Anukampang Upadaya Patigan Hatu Mutamang Adivase Tu No Bante Pale Parika Pitang Anukampang Upadaya Patigan Hatu Mutamang Adivase Tu No Bante Bojanang Parika Pitang Anukampang Upadaya Patigan Hatu Mutamang. Okay, now we will chant the Puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these Puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are going to offer to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of all karma, so that we will diligently strive on to, with heedfulness, to attain the path and fruition as soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculty of Sada, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers. Then sharing and transfer merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we pay respect to Puja. Buddhang Pujayami. Dhammang Pujayami. Sanghang Pujayami. So remember, awareness-based meditation is to develop the inner awareness within our mind. So you can do it by following either the mind sweeping method to prepare yourself so that your mind becomes quiet, peaceful, or you can use the four support for awareness-based meditation. The four support will help you decondition your heedless thinking to just relax body and mind, then maintain awareness. Don't try to think. Don't try to arise a thought. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to know. Well, all these are by the thought activity. The moment your thought is active, you cannot be aware. So you need to relax, silence everything, and maintain awareness. Whatever arises, aware, finish. Then don't follow, just aware. Then your mind will be trained in such a manner that it will become more and more quiet, more and more quiet. And the easiest way is to, like you are dead, completely dead, cannot do anything, and just let the activity of mind and your whatever vibration, let it move by itself. Let it slow down. Where you don't feed it with any more thought energy, all this thinking will slow down. Where they need the thought energy to sustain itself, to maintain its movement. So if you just, like you are dead, completely relax and just maintain awareness within, then the awareness without thought energy will bring about the transformation within your mind. So as the thinking or the sankhara movement and activity slow down, until finally there is no movement. And then you will realize a sudden shift in consciousness, like your consciousness suddenly becomes so quiet, so peaceful, so tranquil. That is your true mind. That is your awareness nature within, the pure awareness. So just maintain the awareness until it stabilizes. So the first 3 of the 4 support are very easy and very useful. Relax into whatever mind state that arises, body, mental. So relaxation is very important. Relax your entire body and mind. Maintain awareness is the second support. Then stabilizing it is the third support. Means you continue to maintain awareness until the awareness within develop a stability, until the mind becomes very quiet, very peaceful, and very still on its own. Then for those who already have developed the training, and you are able to be mindful most of the time, aware most of the time, then you can move on to the 4th support, which is trust. Stay at the heart area and trust your inner nature, your awareness nature, to develop the internal activity and movement without interference from the thought process. During that time, you will feel very good. Your mind becomes so quiet, so peaceful, that everything will just like settle down and develop the movement on its own. Whenever this movement happens, the awareness is with it. Then, not long, you will detect the gateway to your nature. When you can do that, my nature will rejoice, because when that happens, all of the external yin-yang energy will melt inside. Then you feel very peaceful, a very soothing flow of energy through your heart area. And that very soothing flow, that pure energy, will activate your internal nadis and chakra. It will activate whatever you need to activate So you just like a weakness inside there. Don't do anything. Then the other way is for those who have traditionally get used to method, technique, and whatever way to train your mind to be peaceful. You can also start with that. Your object of meditation, if you have any, or even your chanting, your mantra or whatever, you can start from there. But the main one is to develop inner awareness, means mindfulness. Whatever you do, you are aware, mindful. Even anapanasati is just mindfulness of the in and out breath. Those who do rising, falling also same, silence your mind and maintain the sati or awareness and let it move with your abdominal activity. The so-called rise and fall is without word one. It's the awareness that moves in perfect harmony and synchrony with your abdomen movement or activity. So if it's anapanasati, it will follow the breath, mindfulness of the in and out breath. Then you continue to let it develop naturally without altering the breathing. Naturally means the natural state of breathing without resistance. Then whatever happens, breathing in, away, breathing out, away. You don't resist, you just let it happen. Then whether it's long breath or short breath, it will automatically adjust by itself until you become very naturally calm and peaceful. When you can develop that, means your so-called anapanasati has stabilized. Then you will feel a lot of piti. Piti means spiritual peacefulness of mind, spiritual calmness of mind. That piti state is very soothing, very conducive for meditation. You feel very good. For once you are without thought, but just aware, mindful. Then piti arises. Then as you continue to stabilize it, it becomes more and more refined. Then later you may experience blissfulness, or what they call sukhang. The blissfulness of mind is sukhang. When that happens, your mind state becomes like very, very blissful. And you like to meditate, and most people attach to that mind state. But it will come to pass, you just let it be. Then until finally the whole breathing become very quiet, very still. And during that time, continue to maintain awareness, even until you your breathing become very subtle, like you cannot detect the breathing, and that is a good sign. Means your sati has developed, and your mind is about to enter sati. So you just stay at your nostril area. Then the short breathing. When your mind enters sati, you will pick it up again. Then you can sustain the awareness based on the anapanasati of the subtle breathing. It's like you don't breathe, but you can maintain the awareness. From there, away. So whatever object of meditation, also same, rising, falling, or chanting or what, you develop it until mind enters sati. Then you stay there, completely relaxed, silent, and just away. So it will bring you back to the four support. That anapanasati will naturally actually take you down to your heart area. Then finally, your sati or awareness, you can either rest it at your nostril, where the breathing is, or at the heart area. Whatever it is, it will finally drop down to the heart area. Then you can do the fourth support, which is maintain awareness at the heart area and don't resist. Let the nature move and develop the internal activity and movement on its own. Okay, with that, I will let you all develop the meditation on your own. You all can now slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind states that you need to stabilize your daily mindfulness, so that you are aware and mindful in the midst of life. Then use it to develop the understanding, which is wisdom. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhamang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Piso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavido Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarti Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Panayiko Pachatang Veditadbo Vinohiti Supatipano Bhagavato Saukasangho Ujupatipano Bhagavato Saukasangho Nyayapatipano Bhagavato Saukasangho Samicipatipano Bhagavato Saukasangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Saukasangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anutarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you can be seated. Then we will continue from where we stopped. After 84,000 great aeons, the consciousness will arise again. Therefore, although one has realized the 4 samadhis of the formless rhyme and the samadhi of cessation of sense perception and cognition, one has not yet ended the cycle of birth and death. These are the 8 liberation. They call it liberation, but actually they are jhana experiences. The 4 dhyan of the form jhanas and the 4 samadhi of the rhyme of the formless. This plus the samadhi of cessation of sense perception and cognition make up the 9 sequential samadhi. The samadhi here refer to the 3 kinds of samadhi. The samadhi of emptiness, the samadhi of formlessness, and the samadhi of wishlessness. When these 3 kinds of samadhi are accomplished, you will have realized emptiness, formlessness, and wishlessness. To explain this in detail would take a great deal of time. For now, mentioning their name will be sufficient or suffix. And the like refers to the principles explained just now. One will find joy and pleasure, but by cultivating such skill, you will be nourished by the bliss of dhyan and filled with Dhamma joy. You will be extremely happy. One will then gain limitless peace, tranquility, and joy. Traveling playfully in samadhi, you will attain limitless peace and joy. If you attain the nirvana of true emptiness, you will leave behind all trouble and disaster forever. But no trouble and disasters, with no troubles or disasters, you will experience boundless happiness and peace. With regards to the dhyan and liberation mentioned earlier, you will not be able to attain liberation by just sitting there without thinking anything. If you did have any thought, are you any better than a block of wood? If you don't have any thoughts, are you better than a block of wood that has no use whatsoever? Now, if you could really act like a wooden mannequin, you would be of great use. But if you can't, then you are not a wooden mannequin at all. Wooden mannequin does not have false thoughts, or for that matter, any thoughts. If you claim I'm a wooden mannequin, isn't that a thought? Basically, you are unqualified to be a wooden mannequin. This is Hsuan Hua's way of using the analogy. Since you aren't a useless wooden mannequin, of what use are you? Think about it. If you are of no use, then you can't match up to a wooden mannequin. Although a wooden mannequin is of no use, it at least does not consume the resources of the world. As an ordinary person, you are a consumer. What do you consume? You eat the food, wear the clothes and sleep. You are useful and good for those things. What else are you good for? Have you made any contribution to the world? Have you benefited a single person? If you have not brought benefit to anyone, you are no different from a wooden mannequin. Ordinary people at least try to benefit others and make contribution to the world and to society. They are useful in that sense. They try to help everyone else. Have you done this? No. Then you are no better than the wooden mannequin. You are of no use. Yet you are not a wooden mannequin either. You can't really be a wooden mannequin. You would be a... Sorry, I read again. If you could really be a wooden mannequin, you would be of great use, and that would be fine. If you could be free of deluded thought, then the wisdom light of your nature would illuminate the Dhamma rhyme. Why can't your wisdom light shine throughout the Dhamma rhyme? It's because you are not as honest and simple as a wooden mannequin. None of us are wooden mannequin. So this is Hsuan's analogy and way of describing the comparison. Actually, that one is like the state of no thought. But if you can be in that state, it's of not much use because you cannot live life. To live life, you need the thought process. But to realize the enlightenment, leading to the wisdom, the cessation of form and mind, you really need the state of no thought. The first hallmark of huining, 无念的境界. So that state of no thought is your true mind in pure awareness to develop the wisdom, to see things as they are, to insight into phenomena, to realize your true mind. So instead of having that type of mind, Hsuan compare a cultivator who really have no thought to a piece of wooden mannequin. Okay, then we move on. The next part of the sutta continue. Sariputta, suppose there are living beings who are inherently intelligent and who have heard the Dhamma from the Buddha, the World-Honored One, believe and uphold it, and strike forward with diligence, wanting to quickly escape the three rhymes and seek nirvana for themselves. They are those of the Savaka vehicle or sound hearer vehicle. They are like the children who sought the sheep cart and thereby escape from the burning house. So we go to the commentaries. Sariputta, suppose there are living beings who are inherently intelligent and who have heard the Dhamma from the Buddha, the World-Honored One, believe and uphold it and strive forward with diligence, wanting to quickly escape the three rhymes and seek nirvana for themselves. The commentary's explanation. Inherent intelligence comes about as a result of having listened to the Buddha's teaching, the Dhamma in past life, and having planted the seed of wisdom. Those who formerly follow the Buddha and study the Dhamma, door of the triple vehicle or three vehicle, are now inherently intelligent. In previous life, they followed the Buddha and listened to him teaching the Dhamma, believe and uphold it. Indicates the wisdom of hearing. If you just listen, but do not believe or uphold the teaching, you will not gain any benefit. Once you have heard it, you must deeply believe and uphold it without having the slightest doubt. And having believed and upheld it, you must then strive forward with diligence. That's why the three criteria to progress along the power of Dhamma, I always share with you all, is faith leading to sincerity, then perseverance. So this perseverance is for you to strive on with diligence. Diligence represents the wisdom of contemplation, while strive forward stands for wisdom of cultivation. Some people advance vigorously, wishing to get out of the rhyme of desire or sensual rhyme, the rhyme of form and the rhyme of the formless. So these three rhymes, they actually can be classified as the whole of existence, the 31 plane of existence. So the sensual rhyme consists of the four woeful states plus the human rhyme, 5 rhymes. Then you have the Deva rhymes. So this 6 rhymes, they are called the Liu Tao Lun Hui, the 6 rhyme of samsara's flow. Because the final rhyme they classify as Tian Fa Jie. Actually, Tian Fa Jie includes the Devas of the sensual rhyme, then the Brahmas of the form rhyme, and the formless rhyme. The formless rhyme, they call it the 4 formless rhyme beings that live very long. So here the sensual rhyme refer only to like what I explained earlier, the 4 woeful states, which are the hell rhyme, the Peta rhyme, then you have the animal rhyme, followed by the demon rhyme. Then the 5th rhyme is Manusa, our human rhyme. Then after that is a 6th Deva rhyme within the sensual world. Then the 16th Brahma rhyme is the form world. Then the final 4 formless rhyme is called the formless rhyme. Okay, I will read on. Such people advance vigorously, wishing to get out of the rhyme of desire or the sensual rhyme. The form rhyme and the formless rhyme means the 31 plane of existence. They seek nirvana for themselves, wanting to succeed in their own cultivation, but do not care about others. So this is how some Mahayana practitioners they put it. Because the sainthood way, when you cultivate the provisional teaching leading to the sainthood way enlightenment, you can realize the 4 stages of sainthood cultivation. Sotapanaship, Sakadagamaship, Asakadagamiship, and Anagamiship, and finally Arhantaship. So these are the sainthood way cultivation, and they call this the sound hearer, or what we call the Savaka vehicle. So this one, because they strive hard to cultivate, to realize the sainthood ways enlightenment. And these sainthood ways enlightenment are relatively much easier. So that's why they are called the Savaka vehicle. But Mahayana like to put it in such a way that they seek their own enlightenment, where they don't take the Bodhisattva way to continue with the cultivation via the 4 basic vows of a Bodhisattva. So without the 4 basic vows, you cannot develop the vow to take across all living beings. So they call it 知度, means you only strive on to develop the enlightenment for your own liberation or enlightenment. So here they put it in such a way. They seek nirvana for themselves, wanting to succeed in their own cultivation, but do not care about others. So in a sense, they are not that wrong. Yeah. But you put it that way, the Theravada tradition or the sainthood way cultivator, they will become, especially the followers, they will become very unhappy. This is just the manner of description, but you understand, you can realize Arahantaship, there is no self involved actually. So when they realize Nirvana is not for themselves, but once they realize, they know there is no self, no permanent unchanging entity within. But a lot of cultivators, especially the Theravada tradition, after they read up and find out that there is this so-called sainthood way, they prefer to end it there and then. They don't want to continue. They tend to have this belief that the Bodhisattva way is too long and not easy. That's why most of them, they talk about renouncing the Bodhisattva way and revert back to the sainthood way to realize Arahantaship and cease completely free. That is how they have in mind as a sainthood way, provisional teaching practitioner. But the real understanding is not like that. Because when you go through the cultivation, ultimately you will come to realize there is he no you, he no me. All these are just for my mind, a vehicle and a tool for one's nature to arise within the existential world, to go through the karmic process and to develop the life that one may aspire for to live. That's why there is such thing as wonderful existence after you have realized true emptiness. So I finish off with the last sentence. They only wish to awaken and benefit themselves. Thus they belong to the vehicle or the Savaka, means the sound hearer tradition. Okay, next one. They are like children who sought the sheep cart and thereby escape from the burning house. So here escape from the burning house means from the 3 rhyme or 31 plane of existence. Means you go through the sainthood way cultivation, you reach Arahantaship or become an Arahant. After that, you got no more rebirth due to avijja. You will go through the cessation of form and body and realize Arahantaship and cease. Everything cease, like no more. Without residue, everything cease. No continuation because they don't take the Bodhisattva vow to continue with that training. Okay, then the commentaries. They are like those 30 children who, having heard that there are sheep cart outside the door, ran out of the burning house, wishing to get a sheep cart. Sheep cart are an analogy of the Savaka, sound hearer vehicle, because sheep tend to look after only themselves. They run right ahead without taking care of the rest of the flock. This represents the Savaka, the sound hearer, who are only interested in their own welfare. They care only about ending their own birth and death. So they run forward without paying attention to those behind. That's why they choose the word sheep. Okay, next part. Okay, the next part is the sutta. Suppose there are living beings who, having heard the Dhamma from the Buddha, the world-honored one, believe and uphold it, strive forward with diligence in quest for inner wisdom, delight in solitude and enjoy stillness, and deeply know the cause, so condition of all phenomena. They are those of the Pajjika Buddha vehicle. They are like the children who left the burning house in order to receive the deer cut. So this is the second cut that they call the deer cut. But this is the second vehicle. After sound hearer, we have the Pajjika Buddha. The Pajjika Buddha are those enlightened beings that realize enlightenment even sometimes without the sasana, without Sammasambuddha. They, through their own cultivation, they cannot summarize all of their understanding and realize the Four Noble Truths. But they develop the cultivation through the silent mind to understand how everything that arises and passes away follow the law of dependent origination, or paticca samuppanna, the 12 links. So after they realize that, then they also awaken. But once they know everything is dependent, originating, condition, arising, causal phenomena, then there is no reality. Everything is empty, not what you think. It has its universal characteristics of impermanence, because dependent on condition they arise. And these causes and conditions are ever evolving in a state of flux. That's why it's not a permanent, unchanging entity. And because of that, if you want things your way, you cling onto it, grasp onto it, you suffer. The universal characteristic of suffering arises, but they follow the 5 pancha niyamas. Then finally, because of its impermanent, it's not a permanent, unchanging entity where you can cling onto, grasp onto and say, this is me, this is I, therefore I can own all this can be mine. There is no such thing. So because of that, they always say the third universal characteristic is anatta, and they define it as non-self. Actually, non-self is only one aspect of anatta. Where non-self means it's not a permanent, unchanging entity that you can grasp onto, cling onto and say, this is me, this is I. Means it's a self. Which means you can have control over it. But in nature, within the existential world, all phenomena are not a permanent, unchanging entity. That's why there is no such thing. But the other deeper meaning of the anatta characteristic is, that's why in the teaching, the Buddha actually transmitted the teaching to the monks. and he asked them to chant Rupang Anicang. So form is impermanent, so that one can be understood. But when he repeats Rupang Anatta, how can form be non-self? There is no consciousness, it's not a living being. That's why he continued to say Rupang, form is anatta. Then Vedana, Sanya, Sankara and Vijnana, they are also anatta. So here anatta means not only is not a permanent unchanging entity, but because it's dependent, originating, condition, arising, causal phenomena, it's not what you think. So that part of understanding will give rise to an awakening. And this awakening will let you understand that all phenomena within nature, within the existential world, they are dependent, originating, condition, arising, causal phenomena. As real as it can be, is only within the moment. And that is the only reality within life. And how stable is the present moment. Split second is dead and gone. Split second is dead and gone. That's why for those who have the mindfulness and awareness, they will see the transient nature of existence, of phenomena moving within existence. So when you see that, then you realize there is no reality. Hey, no you, hey, no me. Everything is just phenomena arising and passing away, dependent on causes and conditions. They arise, and dependent on sustaining causes and conditions, they continue to evolve and sustain its existence. But there is no reality. Everything is mimic within the thought process. So when thought arises, it appears like it's very real, exists. But what is thought? It's only a consciousness. And how stable is it? Arise and pass away. So there is no reality like what I have taught you. We cannot deny that we were born, then we have lived the number of years of life that we have gone through. Like my case, about 71 years. I cannot deny that those phases of existence exist. But is it real? As real it can be, it's only that moment to moment of existence that form and mind go through. And the summation of it is there is no reality, where everything is empty. If there is no mind to retain all this through memory and give it meaning, then it's as good as you don't exist. All phenomena is the same. Every moment, every instant, they evolve. They arise and they pass away. There's an empty nature of existence. And that part is very powerful. So, this this particular Buddha of the second type of vehicle, they realize the enlightenment through the 12 links. They don't have the Four Noble Truths to awaken. Or they cannot, after they become enlightened, summarize all of life into just 4 very concise and yet very profound Noble Truths. Yeah. So that's how this particular type of vehicle teaching come to be. That's why it is written here, delight in solitude, this type of cultivator, and enjoy stillness and tranquility, and deeply understand the causal phenomena of all phenomena, means the law of dependent origination, paticca samuppada. So this is the part. Okay, move on. Sorry. Okay, we go to a commentary. So the commentary says, upon hearing the Dhamma from the Buddha, such people of the second vehicle or the Pajika Buddha vehicle, they bring forth faith and do not have doubt. Someone asked me, that is Hsuan, can the Buddha and Bodhisattva give us faith? Does our faith come from ourselves or do the Buddha give it to us? So this is the question that people ask Master Hsuan. So according to Master Hsuan, there are many ways to view faith, but not all are correct. You may say that faith arises within yourself. It definitely is not something given to you from outside. Faith is not granted to you from some external higher power. Faith arises only from within you. Others cannot give it to you. If others could give you faith, if others could give you faith, that would be the same as someone else eating your food and make you full. However, someone else eating your meal cannot make you full. This is Hsuan's analogy. You bring forth faith yourself and can only become full by taking the food of Dhamma yourself. If you do not bring forth the faith on your own and rely on others to give it to you, you will never be full. So that is the analogy. You must explain this principle clearly. Can someone else cultivate on your behalf? No, it is said. You yourself must eat your field to end your suffering. You yourself must work to end your birth, your own birth and death. So in the same for faith. So it is the same for faith. You must bring forth faith yourself. No one else can do it for you. So this is Hsuan's explanation, which is not bad. But the actual understanding is different. Because after going through all the cultivation, my nature realized faith is something you have to arise through an understanding. What are the understanding you need to develop the faith? You must have the understanding that the Sammasambuddha, they are very unique. And because they are so unique, you develop the faith through knowing who is the Buddha and how special a being he is. So first we have to know that Sammasambuddha becomes Sammasambuddha after long period of cultivation, long period of perfection. That's why they go through the cultivation of the 10 perfection. We are taking the supreme vehicle cultivation, or what we call the Bodhisattva way. And to go through this, they have to continuously develop the understanding to come back as Bodhisattva, to continue their extensive cultivation and perfection until after many, many aeons. Then only they develop the complete perfection of the 10 paramita to become Sammasambuddha. And because of that, they become very unique. That's why I summarize for you all and help you all to develop this understanding. Means they have perfected all cultivation and understanding, and they are not only enlightened beings. The Sammasambuddha has developed perfect understanding and full enlightenment. That's why it's called the fully enlightened one. It's not only enlightened, fully enlightened. So you can say that he is the wisest and most perfect living being ever to arise. So wisest means it also carries the virtue. The wisest and the most virtuous teacher ever to arise. So to have such a being to be your teacher, your guide, to anchor your cultivation, you will develop the faith because you know he is unique, very, very unique. Yeah. So the most well cultivated, the wisest and the most virtuous ever to be born. Then the other aspect is, because of his wisdom and perfection, he can summarize all of the understanding of life, both the mundane and supramundane, regarding the existential world and the unconditioned world, into just Four Noble Truths that make him unique. And this Four Noble Truths is the essence of his teaching. And this teaching, when you realize it, it can bring about enlightenment in the here and the now. That's why it's called Noble Truth. Truth can make you noble ones, enlightened beings. So through this understanding, your faith in him becomes very, very stable, very strong. And it can lead to the stability of what we call unshakable faith. Yeah. That's why that saddha, that faith, through this understanding will drive you. Yeah. So for me, it's the understanding that brings about the faith. The understanding of who he is and how unique a being the Buddha is. And without the Buddha, there will not arise the Dhamma. That's why the triple gem, any of them, they will have the teaching. The first one is a Samasa Buddha. He fully enlightened. He has the teaching. Then the Dhamma, the second gem, is his teaching. That is the one that can awaken living being, transform living being. Then the Sangha, the third gem, is actually the Aryan Sangha, the enlightened disciple of the Buddha. This Aryan Sangha, because they are enlightened disciples of the Buddha, they also have the understanding of the Dhamma. That's why when we take refuge in the triple gem, is to create affinity with the three gem, the triple gem, so that we can have real refuge, true refuge. Otherwise, you cannot develop the enlightenment, the awakening. So, taking refuge in the triple gem is most important. When you take refuge with understanding, with faith, it develops the great affinity with these three very important gems, because they are the most precious among the precious stones. That's why it's called gem. Okay, so with this understanding, we move on. We continue a bit more. This living being who believe and uphold the Dhamma, means the Pachika Buddha tradition, vehicle, strive forward with diligence in quest of inner wisdom, delight in solitude, and enjoy tranquility and stillness, and deeply know the causal condition of all phenomena. This one I have explained. Inner wisdom is a kind of wisdom that arises spontaneously, and this is true Dhamma wisdom. Spontaneously it arises, because through direct seeing, insight, awakening. How does it arise? It comes about because these people enjoy stillness. See? Tranquility, stillness. That is your true mind, the silent mind, inner awareness nature. And They are not like noise and commotion, where there is perfect peace, tranquility, stillness. And because of that, there is clarity. They can see things as they are. They can insight into phenomena and awaken. Because they understand the causes and conditions behind the coming into being and the ceasing to be of all phenomena, they cultivate that dwelling, see? The paticca samuppada, the dwelling of dependent arising or dependent origination. They are those of the Pacceka Buddha vehicle. Okay, we stop here. Okay, and mark this page. Okay, we'll continue your second session.
Good evening, Brother.
Good evening.
Still and all Kagamitas.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time. Yeah.
Like the day Manyan nominated me, I was trying to unmute the thing, but somehow I couldn't unmute the thing. So
No wonder.
I just leave it at that.
Okay. So today you managed to do it, yeah?
Yeah. Actually, I didn't hear what was being said today because I came in very late, and also I was interrupted by a very persistent phone call. So I didn't hear much of what
don't worry. Today one is mainly on the three vehicle, the Savaka, the Samhira, the Pacceka Buddha, and the Sammasambuddha. These three vehicle, but we only finished almost two. The Savaka, the Samhira, and the Pacceka Buddha. But that's it. Pacceka Buddha one we more or less finished, except the next part, which is about the dwelling, paticca samuppada. Yeah.
I don't know what to report in the first place, Bertio.
No problem.
I've been very lax with my cultivation actually.
Don't worry. You're back in Penang,
yeah. A bit difficult actually. Yeah. So just now I heard Brother was talking about the triple gems.
The taking refuge.
Yeah. Like how the triple gems, meaning the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Yeah. And how this itself is the way the teachings of the Buddha can be, how to say,
can be received.
Yeah.
Because when you create affinity with the triple gem, you can receive the teaching. That's why in the Dhammapada saying, the only refuge safe is in the triple gem. Refuge in the triple gem. There is no other refuge safe. He even mentioned in the Dhammapada saying, not even in the mountains or in the cave or anywhere is there refuge safe without the triple gem. Refuge safe means to finally encounter the teaching. So these triple gems are the only gems that have the teaching. The Buddha has the teaching, the Dhamma is the teaching, and the Aryan Sangha, the enlightened disciple that has awakened through knowing the teaching and cultivating the teaching. That's why this is refuge safe. So a lot of people fail to comprehend why must take refuge. And the worst is, in the Mahayana tradition, they call it Quy, taking refuge as Quy. So they thought it's a ritual, where it's a ceremony where you take refuge. No, in fact, administering the precept and the three refuges is most important. That's why all monks or nuns that go forth, they will be administered the triple gem. That's why you have to take refuge, and not one time. It's always 3 times. So when you chant the refuge, it's always 3 times. Initially is you chant Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, then Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Then you repeat Dutiyampi for the second time. I go to the Buddha for refuge. For the second time, I go to the Dhamma for refuge. And for the second time, I go to the Sangha, Aryan Sangha for refuge. Then the third one also same, Tatiyampi, Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. For the third time, you. So why they want you to repeat 3 times is to commit your faith and understanding. Why you take refuge? Well, refuge is most important. Without refuge, that type of affinity, the triple gem, cannot be established. That's why when we go the Bodhisattva way, I also advise you all to cultivate affinity with all the great beings, 4 Pusa, and all the Sammasambuddha. Unless
I can vouch for that.
Very good. You continue.
Because like I always say, for my cultivation itself, for somebody who practically doesn't know anything much about the Buddha and all his teaching, to me that this is a path that I unknowingly choose to take, and it has benefited me tremendously.
Yes, sadhu.
It has made my life very different.
Yeah.
Even with my so-called lax cultivation currently.
But your understanding is very important. It has transformed you. Last time when you started, you have a lot of wrong view. You
very
listen,
strong wrong
very
views.
strong wrong view. Because like you mentioned, the word karma once mentioned, you were turned away. But strangely, when you came to my class, you continue to stay. I remember that one that you share with us. And through the understanding, it has transformed you. You have become very different over the years. And this understanding is very important. Then when you have the understanding, your faith established, then that refuge become very strong, the affinity, everything. Then in future when you come, you will not be like this life. That doubt or those, they will disappear. You straight away will recognize and you know this is what you want. That's
like sorry.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Like this recent retreat itself.
Yeah.
It has actually helped me very, very much too, Bertil. In the sense that I settle down very quickly. And that you see me disappearing from the meditation hall very often because I go to the shrine very often.
To cultivate affinity and to do your work.
Do my homework. Actually,
do your
really
homework.
the connection is very strong.
Very strong.
Very strong.
In fact, a lot of Kayamita, the last retreat, they progress a lot. And they develop a lot of faith. Even
it really shows to you that, even if you always have that kind of doubt that can it be done, can we create that type of affinity with all these great things?
Now no more.
No more doubt. Seriously.
A lot of the Kayamita who has established the understanding, their faith become very different. Even
that's
all
why
those
nowadays,
online, those who are online and here, they are all very strong, the faith.
That's why I can see that why a lot of Kalamitas, and Buddhist practitioners, why they take the trouble to go to all these way places, especially in China and all that. Why they take the difficult path of going all the way there to further the cultivation.
That's why you understand why they can go all the way to such remote and distant places. And they normally travel not for what they call like sightseeing or you go for overseas tour or what. No, they really go all the way to such way places to develop the faith, the understanding, all those things. That's why in the early days, I remember, I seldom travel overseas. But then during that 86 to 89, and after that, I came out to teach, that I lead and I take them. But before that, 86 to 89, I remember, even until 90 or 90 something, I travel quite a lot. And when I travel, it's not for sightseeing or what, no. Like I go for Katina, everything. My last teacher, I went to Thailand many trips. Then I went to China also many trips. Then I went to Australia, New Zealand. Yeah. And people would not believe me. When they ask me where did I go, I say Australia. Oh, you visited the Opera House, the Sydney Bridge. I say I saw them, but I didn't. My main intent is for the retreat. I brought my whole family there. And when you really know what I did, you will not believe one. Because I brought my whole family there. That time Sui Jungpa was very young, and my wife was with me. Then, of course, there are some Kayamitas. Then we went to this place called Belbert Farm. It's remote, about 500 kilometers away from Sydney. I think Sydney, quite far away. Then we went to the monastery where my teacher Achayantra is having the Katina there. It's a very big piece of land, I think a few hundred acres, farmland. Somebody donated, one lady, Elizabeth. Then they have their Vasa there. Then the Katina, I went. That area is actually a farmland that is very cold. At night, without the, you call what, the firewood or the heater, the temperature can go down to -6 or no. And it's an open farmland, no. And we just stay there. Of course, our faith very strong, and we go through all it. Then, first day arrived, somebody took us from the airport, transport us all the way there. Then, after the retreat, we come back, we stay one night over in Sydney, I remember. Somebody offered her home for all of us to stay. And then after that, we fly back. Out of the 10 days, I only walk around Sydney area for less than a day. But the trip was wonderful, rewarding, and full of faith, full of joy. But normal people cannot understand this type of trip. Who wants to go? Actually, in the farmland, not easy to really survive. No, we are on 8 precepts, and the condition is very harsh, very cold. And that time, don't have this, what they call Uniqlo, the type of clothing.
Yeah.
That time, some more in the 89, 90, when I went there, my children, my wife and me, we don't have proper warm clothing. We bought some very cheap one, but that weather was so cold. So luckily we went to this, they call one, the Christian one, where they sell second-hand good one. Salvation Army, I remember. So somebody took us there, and that one was, I think, near the seaside one. I forgot the name of the town already. Near to our Velvet Farm, so very nearby. So we went there. We went to the shop, Salvation Army, all by donation. No. There's some you have to buy. I saw one fur, very nice and warm, and luckily I bought that one. It cost me about 10 Aussie at that time. It was very cheap. Or that one we use. Luckily, then there are a lot of other things very cheap. Some are free, up to you to donate. So when you travel, like PG mentioned, this type of causes and conditions, normal people will not venture or go. They cannot understand. But for us cultivator, we go, we can understand. And our spiritual trip, like you all know, most of the time is to visit way place, temple and all those things. We do go to, nowadays, is some form of mixture. But our itinerary, almost 70 to 80% is all spiritual, way places and all those things. So the tourist attraction and all those things, we now incorporate some. So what I want to share with you all is, when your cultivation deepens, your faith deepens, then you will visit places that normal people will not want to go. And they don't really understand why people can spend all the money and time to go and do this type of thing. So like PG tried to share, once your faith develops, a lot of people, they travel and they go on their own. And I was told even recently, some Kayamita, because like Putosan, all those areas, Jiwasan or what, I have been there before, a few times. And because of that, I say, I will not go. Then they organize on themselves, by themselves, and they go by themselves, which is very good, because this is what you will do. Then later on, when I came out to share the last 20 to 21 years, coming to 21 years, I take the opportunity to take Kayamita to spiritual trivia. It has benefited me a lot, developed a lot of understanding, affinity and all those things. Okay, PG, back to you. What you share is good.
Actually, I would like to thank Bharatya too for organizing all this religious pilgrimage and all this.
Yeah.
My first one was to Putosan itself. That itself, even in the first trip, it shows me how it shows me faith is so important.
Yeah, faith is very important. You're right.
I like to share an experience at Putosan itself. Remember, we went up by cable car to the high temple.
Correct.
Yes. My Mandarin, I cannot remember all the temple names.
Correct.
We went by cable car up to the temple, and by the time we arrived, it was almost 5 o'clock, and the cable car stops at 5.
Yeah.
So meaning that when we are going back, we have to use the staircase to go down.
Yeah, to walk down. Mrs. Ho, they all carry down.
To carry her. and that day itself, because in the morning we went to another hill or mountain.
Correct.
So most of us were actually very tired. And going down was a torture for me because my legs couldn't take it.
Yeah. A lot of people's legs were vibrating.
And I nearly sat down and go down on my back bottom and just to go down the stairs. It was that hard. I really couldn't go down anymore. And I told myself, Guanyin Pusa, why you make
sadhu? That will develop the faith.
Why you let me go to so much? I said I cannot take it already,
But somehow all of us make it.
I was almost giving up, Brazil.
And
you believe it or not, Brazil, after that, something changed. I was able to walk down, Brazil. I can walk down, and at night, I don't even feel the pain.
Yeah, sadhu. Because the endurance, that faith, the endurance, In fact, that
that.
particular trip with that experience was very good. And Madam Ho also, because of her age, they volunteered to carry her down. That was a great experience. She was full of joy. And 2 persons, I think. One is the bus, I think, driver.
Yeah, the bus driver and
then the other one is
the local
Mr.
tour guide.
No, Mr.
They took turns.
Oh,
They
okay.
took turns, yeah.
Yeah, they take turns.
The 3 of them took turns.
There are 3 of them take turns. But for us, without carrying anything, it's already not easy, you know. You really need a lot of endurance. But that steps are very high, you know. And you come down.
I think it's 1,000 over steps, you know.
Yeah, 1,000 over steps, but it's very strenuous, you know. You come down until your leg like chan, vibrating. But because of the faith, very beautiful. When I came down, I still okay actually. That time I still young. Then I was able to sit, to rest around that thing. Then all those coming down, they saw me there. They say, "Wow, but you're so fast." Then most of them say their leg still vibrating when they reach the foothill. Yeah. But that was the experience. That's why perseverance is not that. When you persevere during cultivation, you can actually confront and do things that normal cultivator cannot do. And most of them tell me because of the faith. Especially after they start to chant, the faith become stronger.
Yeah, it really shows me. And for information, because I learned that Ajahn Achano has, I think, completed his, probably today, he probably completed his trip to Hsuan. And he did the 3 steps, 1 bow.
One bow.
On this same step going up. So imagine coming down already so difficult for us. I wonder how it is going up. But I think the same, I think we have a group of Kalamitas who did the 3 step 1 bow too when they were at Hsuan. But I don't know which temple they visited. So
but that one, not that long, that stretch was not that long. Then when we were at our recent trip in Uthai-san, you remember? There was a temple, very high with the steps on. A lot of the China group, or Taiwanese group or what, 3 step 1 bow now. Old lady also there now. And one of them, they need to call ambulance, I remember. Not easy, but their faith very strong.
But this one, I think you have to slowly, get used to it. Otherwise, it is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, without the faith, it's like you can never do it. That's why faith makes a big difference. Faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, the triple gem. And you have to take refuge. Then you develop the faith. Then you cultivate the affinity. And that one establish the causes and conditions for you to move in that direction. And to progress along the path of Dhamma. That one very important,
Another thing, can I ask you about you?
Can.
Asking for forgiveness. According to my niece, the Mahayana, of course, they have their way of doing it, right? I myself have been only calling gratitude for my cultivation. I told her that we only do the, verbal. We don't do the how they carry the bowing and all that. To me, it's no different.
Yeah, it depends on one's understanding. More important is the faith and the mindfulness. the awareness. How you do it? Ours is the simplified, the 5-point prostration. Theirs is the full Mahayana. They stand up, then they go down, then they bow. Then the Tibetan tradition, they lie flat somehow. Then they come out again. Because more important is to cultivate the faith, followed by what we call the mindfulness. And these two can bring forth the way. Because when you do it with faith and the mindfulness develop, the understanding will come.
To me, that is actually more important than the, how to say, the physical part of it. But, well, like you say, different people cultivate differently.
Your niece want to find out about what your question is.
Because the thing is, she cultivates the way,
Yeah.
following the Mahayana way. And that day we were talking about asking for forgiveness. And she kept telling me, no, you have to do it the Mahayana way. That is the correct way to do it,
Okay.
Theravada doesn't emphasize on this. I say, but we have our own way of doing it, And because I am not so well versed, I didn't want to further, discuss this because each of us has a different way of doing it. So I just let it be,
Yeah. Because a lot of this type of question come from the lack of stable, clear understanding of cultivation. Because most people, they see like Theravada tradition and Mahayana, a lot of difference, like the big difference, like the cultivation totally like east and west, north and south, completely different. But when you understand what is cultivation, then it's no different. That's why I say, for people who understand, the emphasis is what? To develop heedfulness, to develop the stability of mindfulness, then the faith, the spiritual faculty. So even Mahayana chanting, the pure and all, a lot of people have misconception, the Theravada tradition. Some they say it in such a manner that actually it leads to unnecessary misunderstanding. He said, chant, no noble effort path, no four noble truth. Like that also can be kind of like that. It become a totally distorted way of description. Well, what is important if they chant with the faith and they chant until the awareness and the chanting become one, there is no one chanting, then that clarity of mind, that true mind in full awareness, with the stability, it develops the heedfulness first aspect of it, means ever mindful. Then with the faith, the spiritual faculty develop. And when the spiritual faculty of Saddha develop, it will drive them to cultivate. Then the constant chanting bring about sati. Then the stability of it bring about samadhi. So once the spiritual faculty of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi is there, then Panya, which is wisdom, will keep on awakening. So no different. In fact, the Theravada tradition also same. You have to finally go into mindfulness, stability of it, the daily mindfulness, then leading to heedfulness, ever mindful, constantly meditating. Then you need the spiritual faculty to be very stable to overcome the mental hindrance. So if you base on understanding, then it's no different. How the cultivation is done and the approach toward it is not important. It may appear very different, but when you understand, it is pointing towards the same destination, means the development of heedfulness, stability of mindfulness, ever mindful, constantly meditative, and the spiritual faculty. Okay, we have to end already.
Yeah. Thank you, brother, for your explanation.
Sadhu. So thank you for the sharing. Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah. Okay, we do the sharing. Akasata cha bhumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva chirang rakantu loka sasana ittavata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo devo vasatukalena sasa sampati hetu cha hetu bhavatu loka daya bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana bhatiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Bodhisattva, and the fully enlightened one. Okay, and the worthy ones. Then we end.